Stardom Sit-em Week 12 DST. I'm coming at you hot with a couple defenses you should be starting this week and only one defense you should be fading. We got 6 teams on bye, so I'm going to get you guys plugged in, ready to go for Week 12, starting now. First up, it's going to be real simple. I got the best defense in the NFL right now, which I don't understand why in some leagues they're still available on the waiver wire, but the Philadelphia Eagles against my Rams. Now, it's painful for me to say the Eagles are a must start, but the Rams O-line is still in question. They did a good job last week against the Patriots, but that is not a defense that has a ton of sack production. They're going against the Eagles, and the last 4 weeks had the third most sacks with 17, and they're getting a ton of takeaways as well. This secondary is one of the best secondaries in the NFL right now, as per PFF, with a coverage grade of 90.6. The best, people. And honestly, they are allowing the second fewest passing yards per game right now in the NFL, and they have the lowest yards per reception allowed. So this Rams offense are going to have some trouble trying to get things going. So the Eagles are a must start for the sack production. Possible takeaways when Matthew Stafford likes to play hero ball and keeping the points low this week. Next up, it's going to be very simple for this defense, and honestly, I'm only putting them in this video just because in the last couple of weeks, I've been seeing in the comments, we've been questioning about the Vikings, if they should be starting. They are a must start for the rest of the season. Yeah, they give a bunch of yards and production to the wide receivers and tight ends and et cetera, and yeah, they keep the points to a minimum, but even if they give up those 20 plus points, they're still giving you the sack production. If they cannot pin their ears further back this week against Caleb Williams and that Bears O-line, man, this is where the points are going to be living this week. I'm not necessarily sure that Caleb will be having a bunch of interceptions or fumbles, etc., because he's been very protective of the ball as of late, but man, there's no touchdowns coming out of him. There's no big magical plays coming out of that offense. It's more so you're looking at this offensive line with the Bears. 21 times this guy's been sacked in the last 4 weeks. This is a game where the Vikings are going to get a ton of sack production with some possibility of taking the ball away. They are a must start for the rest of the season, people. I don't want to put them in another video for the next couple of weeks. Next up, I'm going with the Houston Texans this week, only because they're going against Will Levis, who still has the tendency to turn the ball over only once last week. And yes, he's playing better football, but this Texans defense, this secondary is a top 3 pass defense in the NFL. This is going to be a very difficult task for Will Levis to try to go out there and display what he put out there in the last 2 weeks. I like this Texans defense playing hard-nosed football in the trenches as well, getting the sack production, and Will Levis has the tendency to run into some pressures, run into some sacks, and this is where the turnovers can happen because we know Will Levis still tries to play hero ball at time, and I think this could be an opportunity for the Texans DST to put up some big points while keeping the points low on the offensive side for the Titans this week. Now to get into my Week 12 fade, and it's the Miami Dolphins, who are surprisingly enough rostered in 70% of leagues right now, and I think a lot of folks are just okay with that mid-range of points that they give, the 7 to 9 points, not really the standard points that we want to build off of, and that's the point of these videos, to give you some options where you can build on those 10 points you're already given. They lack the sack production, they lack the turnover production as well. 23rd in takeaways per game and 30th in sacks per game. This is not a matchup that I want to test the chin of Drake May, who's going out there playing some amazing football. And when you look back to Week 5, yes, the points were low. This is what the Dolphins are great at. They are a great pass defense. They're going to keep the points low. But we're dealing with Drake May, who might surprise some folks of getting away from the pressure that they may generate against this bad Patriots O-line, where Drake May can rush a couple in. Ramondre Stevenson had a great game last time he played the Miami Dolphins in Week 5. This is a matchup we'll try to look away to get away from the Dolphins, where their ceiling is not as high as other options with 6 teams on the bye. So try to get away from them if you can this week. So this wraps up another great episode of RotoBaller Fantasy Sports YouTube channel. Please make sure you guys like and subscribe, and you guys can leave a comment below on your start and sit questions, and I'll try to answer them all the way up until game time. And you guys can follow me at Real Deal Fantasy on all social media platforms, including Blue Sky. Until next time.